Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us tmosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. In 2021, Breitling launched the Super Chronomat 44. This is the Super Chronomat 44 B01, sold in 2022 according to the paperwork with this example. It's 44 millimeters in diameter in steel, 14.7 millimeters thick, 53.4 from lug to lug with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw it on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, and I find that it does fit, but I would feel more comfortable on a slightly bigger wrist. So 17 centimeters circumference and up, let's call that ideal for this 44 millimeter watch. Mine, again, is 16. The watch features a strap that's molded to resemble the Chronomat's 1980s vintage and recently revived Rouleaux style bracelet, so you can see that's quite clear. It's all rubber, various textures and forms molded in. On the bottom, you can see a little bit of evacuation to make it more flexible, allow the wrist to breathe. No crimping, no gouging, brand new Breitling factory strap. You can see we've got a folding clasp, single fold, twin trigger release, combination of satin and polished details, some security against accidental droppage. One quick note, the factory strap is broader than the lug spacing. So though the lug spacing is 22 millimeters, you can see the strap has a little shoulder on each side. So keep in mind, if you want to get the look of a factory strap, you'll have to make sure that your custom builder builds you a strap with a little bit of a shoulder, maybe a millimeter on each side, or go Breitling OEM. The case is fascinating. A little bit like the Rolex Oyster. It's somewhere between a tonneau and a round case. It's not quite a round case, and it's not quite a tonneau. We have ceramic pushers and crown shoulder. You can see it's all screwed down here for water resistance and security, and the watch is 200 meters water resistant. Though often associated with aviation, the Chronomat is technically within the bounds of what we would call a dive watch, as we have a unidirectional rotating timing bezel that is 120 click. You can see that it's sapphire capped for scratch resistance, and it has rider tabs to make it easier to grip with wet, sweaty, or gloved hands. We've got running seconds, 200 meter water resistance, no shortage of luminescence, including for the bezel and the sub registers. Note that running seconds, so you can see that with chrono on or off, your dive timer is working. Love the hammerhead style index that's used on this watch. The bezel is held on using screws. This is called a captive bezel. It's a super tough way of building a bezel, so it doesn't get snapped on. It's placed on and then fixed by screws, so it can't be snapped off by impact. Case mostly satinated with some polished accents, including on the crown guard and pushers. You could appreciate that this watch features a dial of lustrous green surrounding black sunken registers, a lovely little two-tone. Should get all the adhesive off this dial. Sorry about that. And the watch features rhodium-plated steel hands, logo, and indices. We've got outboard a tachymeter scale that's used to gauge the speed of an object, such as a race car over a kilometer. A little bit more difficult to see is that there's this other scale inboard of it that goes up to 100. It's called a decimeter scale, not used much in the modern era, but if you're wondering what that is what it is called. We have a combination of a crisp column wheel function selector with a seamless vertical clutch. There's no jump with the vertical clutch when you gauge the chrono. Also, if you want to leave the chrono running full time, the vertical clutch allows you to do that without any additional wear, tear, or hazard. The watch does feature hacking or stop seconds, and if you take a look at the fairly well hidden date down in the 6 o'clock position, that has a quick set. Breitling caliber B01, originally released for the Chronomats in 2009, and not designed for display case backs, but it's actually fairly large and good looking, so it's a happy coincidence that in the George Kern era of display case backs, this chronometer certified 47 joule automatic looks great. So 70-hour power reserve, automatic winding, vertical clutch, column wheel, quick set, with hacking, 4 hertz beat rate, and you can see it's got a micrometric screw for fine adjustments, and then for slightly larger adjustments to timing and beat error, there's Edicron. The column wheel doesn't just feel great, it looks great. And with nearly 3 days of power reserve at 70 hours, it's right on the industry standard for 2025 specifications, what you expect in the industry today. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.